the German playing for Sentex. It is GunGFuBanDa.
Okay, so nothing too crazy so far. I don't see any probes moving out on the map, proxy, something. I expect both players to go for that Nexus I talked about, you know, get some stalkers, some sentries out, start scouting. And it seems like the meta is just to go into, like, you're gonna wanna get Blink first a lot of the time, and then eventually you go into charge, you get +1. You can sometimes go charge directly. There can be a Stargate thrown in there if somebody wants to get aggressive.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of, like, I've obviously been watching as the last couple weeks with DreamHack, and I'm seeing a lot of Oracle play, not especially with, like, I guess PvP. I'm seeing a lot of that. I don't know if that's just been where I've been cherry picking or not, as well as, like, obviously adept play as well, coming in quite nice on the probe harass and just kind of messing with your opponent a little bit, trying to throw them off their build order, trying to make it uncomfortable for them. But speaking of making it uncomfortable, I feel like we could be seeing some interesting stuff here from ArT. What's he planning? Drops the pylon and then just kind of leaves?
Yeah, sometimes some players, they make a pylon like this outside on the map, sometimes even behind the mineral line of their expo, just to throw off the opponent. Because if you're GunGFuBanDa, you're looking for that second pylon. You go inside of the main of your opponent, you're looking everywhere. You're like, okay, there's a pylon missing here. It's somewhere out on the map. Is this a real proxy that you're doing, or is this a fake, where you just made the pylon somewhere and you're not using it for anything? So far, it looks like it's a fake. Like, nothing was made of this, and it looks like GunGfu actually is going to be able to scout it in a second.
Oh, yeah, might just see it. Yeah, there we go. So that's going to be spotted. So no funny business, no shenanigans there is going to be happening for ArT. But yeah, like you say, just kind of has to keep GunGfu there on his toes a little bit. Has to be expecting that there's going to be something until that does get scouted.
A nice little trap area with the probe. Taking a pylon. Actually, GunGfu immediately dropping a Stargate as he realized that that wasn't going to be scoutable anymore since he was about to kill the probe on the other corner. And ArT's doing his due diligence with the scouting, actually. Checking everywhere around his base to see if there's any proxied pylons or anything like that. He's going for a third gateway and a Twilight. Okay, ArT's the aggressive one here.
Yeah, going for the Twilight there, so as you mentioned, going to be probably seeing that Blink play, and yeah, with the 3 gateways as well. So, gotta hope that GunGfu could do something with that Stargate there to kind of outbalance this a little bit. I don't know, what would you be expecting? Are you going to be thinking that there's going to be some Oracle harass? Is he going to be going for that Void Ray play?
Yeah, usually.
It's going to be Oracle.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, when you do that, I think you're just kind of hoping the opponents might not have a shield battery inside of their worker line. And even if they do, you can get the second Oracle, go in there, like, one zap, a bunch of probes. GunGfu actually is the one engaging at the front. And he's not doing too bad because he had 4 Stalkers first, but he loses one now. This might play right into ArT's game plan here, because 3 gateways are now transforming into warp gates. And he's about to start warping across the map. I'm actually a bit surprised he didn't go for another gateway here, but I think he's just planning on hitting even earlier than another gateway. He catches the Oracle!
The Oracle goes down.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's terrible for GunGfu here. So ArT's now got the 3 gateways, and GunGfu's down the Oracle, so not going to be able to do any harass and to slow down the aggression of ArT here. The Robo immediately goes down inside of GunGfu, and of course just a battery there to try and protect this expand. Of course, ArT hasn't expanded yet, so he's on this 1 base. So if Gun can hold here, then he should be in a pretty good position, but we gotta get that Immortal out from the Robo for Gun to be able to hold this, I think.
Yeah, I like the choice of GunGfu to just cancel the Twilight here. I think he realized he needed Immortals against this. Yeah. And yeah, he even scouted that there is no Nexus on the second base by ArT. He knows that he's being all in. The play here is very clear. Don't make any more probes. Just make units. Try and buy time. If you can get up to 2 or 3 Immortals, you're going to be fine. And you might have to rely on those batteries very heavily here, because there's going to be a lot of Stalkers from ArT here.
Yeah, and you see ArT just has the way bigger army here, trying to focus down to... Oh, and that's going to be it. Tap it out immediately. That was a quick first game of the day. Just the aggression there from ArT. I think GunGfu just losing that Oracle was just a quick, like, right, well, you caught me with my pants down now, and that is just a quick, swift execution of ArT. Was that kind of going how you expected it to go?
No, I didn't think GunGfu was going to fall this quickly here. I thought, you know... he was going to be able to hold, actually. Like, he was going to get one immortal and stuff. So maybe I greatly underestimated the Stalkers, much like he did, because I think he was caught completely off guard, and yeah, that went terribly here for him.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it could have been shifted if the Oracle had remained alive? I mean, I feel even so, ArT still just seemed to have the greater army count. GunGFu didn't quite have anything to counter it, didn't have that robo up, had already expanded. Could it have been scouted earlier?
Maybe, yeah. It's hard to say, because, like, obviously it's ArT that really, like, sold this perfectly and hit his builds really, really well. Yeah, maybe it was a bit too greedy with the Nexus and the amount of probes that he made. Because he had a lot of probes, like, they're kind of useless. You just need units against this to defend, ideally. So, yeah, maybe just better scouting. It was unfortunate for him that he went Stargate against this, because he was useless. That Oracle got caught, sniped, and then it was, like, a huge minus for him not to have this.
Yeah, even if he'd, like, seen it earlier and knew it was coming, could have shifted that into a few Void Rays. Obviously, with the batteries there and the expand, would have been probably a better defense than what he was able to kind of commit there. But that was our quick first game. We will obviously be setting up going into game 2, of course. So yeah, what do we expect it going into this one? More of the same, or do you think GunGFu is going to have to do something new here, something different?
I don't really expect games very often to, like, be the same from game 1 and 2. It's very, very rare that both players will be like, all right, this is, like, what's going to work. And the other guy's like, no, that didn't work, so I'm going to do the same. Yeah, no, so we'll see a lot of variations. It does seem to me, though, that ArT is the more aggressive guy, at least up until this point. So GunGFu, if he wants to be the more standards, the more, expanding, making probes, playing, as you would expect, he's going to have to go the extra mile with the scouting. Maybe make sentries earlier, make sure that you're able to scout with that hallucinated Phoenix really, really early, figure out exactly what it is that you're facing, and then you can react accordingly, because as we saw here, he was not ready at all.
Yeah, and as we kind of mentioned, I mean, going into this one, I guess GunGFu's kind of the favorite. ArT is kind of the favorite here, as ArT's kind of had a better match history so far in this tournament compared to GunGFu. GunGFu's not really had the best showing so far in this tournament, but I mean, anything can really happen, and if anything can happen, anything will happen. So we'll have to see going into this next game what GunGFu can do differently. So yeah.
All right, I think hopefully we'll have the proper observer interface here for this one. I'm trying to make sure. I think that was the one thing that I needed to add. Can you just say it? Maybe you can talk about the group or something for a minute.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so well, I mean, we're going to be jumping onto Hardwire for this next map. So that's kind of where we're going to be having this showdown now, game 2 of this best of 3. But yeah, I mean, so far in the group, if we kind of look at that a little bit, so as I said, GunGFu is down 1-3 so far. ArT's 2-2 apiece right now, so ArT's in that rank 4 spot. Though so is Ratata. So if ArT loses this series or wins it, it can really turn the tide there, kind of keeping Ratata away from that rank 4 spot and allowing ArT to continue on through. So absolutely, ArT's got everything to play for here. GunGFu, I don't know if he can even turn this around at this stage and reach the top 4. I mean, I suppose if he wins this series, he'll be 2-3, which puts him in quite a bit of a better situation, especially then ArT would drop down to 2-3. So but perhaps actually, if GunGFu kind of plays this one well.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah,
we're in game now, though, so let's jump right on in here. We're going to be playing on Hardwire, starting in the top right-hand side, playing as the Red Protoss from Poland. It is ArT.
Beautiful. And honing in here on the bottom left, it is the blue Protoss playing for Sentex. It is GunGFuBanDa.
Any predictions on what you think we might see here?
Any predictions on what we might see? I mean, we spoke about how Blink Stalker is just so natural for this matchup in this mirror. It depends on if they want to play a standard build. I mean, ArT's got, it's kind of his ball game at this point. So I'm expecting probably something quite aggressive from ArT. Maybe something similar to what we saw last game. But no like kind of funky pylons or anything just yet, though ArT looks like he's setting up for it right outside of the natural here of GunGFuBanDa. So
this is sick because he's sending in a decoy probe where he's like, okay, everything's normal. I'm scouting like I usually would. Nothing funny is happening here. But actually, no, there is another probe. And that's, you know, he's redefining the word proxy in proximity here because this is extremely close to GunGFuBanDa's base. Because GunGFuBanDa saw this probe scouting him just now, he might think, okay, nothing weird's happening. I wonder if he actually still checks here.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because he feels, you know, if you mentally say, oh, I've already seen a scouting probe, so that kind of puts you at ease, that puts you to rest, but GunGFuBanDa, I'm sure, is more experienced than that. Hopefully he does, you know, just give a little bit of a fresher look. We saw that probe just start to move up, but then back away. And you don't really edge up towards that north side of your base here if you're GunGFuBanDa. There's nothing really up there to look out for. You know, there's not like there's going to be some Reapers jumping into the base in a minute or so. So there's no reason to really travel up towards that side. Though he does now send a probe up top side.
And GunGfu did what I said, by the way. He made a sentry like a bit earlier. At least he's just the one who's going to send a hallucinated Phoenix. He was waiting for 80 energy. Okay, he's going to see it now. Ideally, I think you would have loved to be able to see it earlier because he could have just headed there and powered that pylon. Whereas like now it's like, okay, well, I probably can't go there early enough to do something about it, so I have to start preparing for the defense back at home. We lost 2 probes, actually, to that one at depth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no Nexus for GunGFuBanDa. I think he understands the urgency of being able to defend against this here.
Yeah, he just knows that if he'd gone for that expand, then it would be GG game over. As soon as he spots that, he knows. He even kind of held off for a little bit as well. I think he had the opportunity to go for the expand if he wanted to, but I think he knew something was fishy. And luckily that Sentry was able to spot it with the Phoenix, as you say.
So this might
comes the aggression.
This might turn into like a really long lockdown, right? Where he's just down the ramp. Sentry actually being warped in. GunGfu, you have to be careful. If you get trapped here with the force field, that would be disastrous.
Yeah, now GunGfu has the battery on the high ground, so he can kind of do a little bit of poking and then retreat off, but now the Immortal coming in for the side of ArT, that's going to make this really messy here. And especially with just being able to pick up and drop these Stalkers or the Immortal if it's getting low. See the Sentry pick there, like just really, really clean. Able to kill a Gateway as well, so this is terrible now for GunGfu, down to 2 Gateways to be able to try and combat this Immortal push here.
He's going to lose the other one. Perhaps here.
I think he might. I don't really see what he can do here. He has to maybe
He's to wait for Blink.
A bit more aggressive. Yeah. Blink is about to finish though for the side of GunGFuBanDa, so that should help him out a little bit. But he loses 2 Gateways in this.
Why is he not using Guardian Shield? Ooh, saves the Sentry. That was about to go down. Probes were being pulled off the line. Okay, Blink now completed. So a lot of micro potential. He blinks down the ramp to fight that one Immortal, but the Immortal turns around and he's like, what were you thinking?
Great attempt at a pick there, but not quite quick enough there. And the Immortal does live to see another day, though it has had its shields dropped off dramatically. And actually, GunGFuBanDa also, he's rebuilding a gateway in the north, like the eastern side of the map, and he's sending a probe up into ArT's base. So, I mean, like, he's rebuilding, but not in his own base for some reason.
Yeah, I think this is to warp in way quicker across the map. I think doing something like 2 Adepts here would be amazing, because he can get inside of the main base and do some counter-aggression. And he has enough at home to defend here, especially because he has force fields to really block this ramp off. Remember, ArT does not have Blink. Yes, he has a Prism, but that Prism cannot do everything.
Yeah, and Blink is definitely the advantage here, though. With 3 Immortals on the side of ArT, that is a force to be reckoned with. And he's got to be really careful because, of course, oftentimes Stalkers do lose against Immortals, though 2 get blocked off, and that's where just the pick there is going to be able to protect them, stop them from getting shut down. So even without the Blink,
this Prism's going to get sniped, I feel like, eventually. Like, if he does this again, like ArT, that is, I could see the Stalkers blink forwards on the ramp, snipe the Prism, deny the vision, and still have some units trapped.
But we see the Stalkers up in the main of ArT here, just dispatching these probes. It's going to force a recall, though, of how many units? What? Just a couple of Mortals there just to deal with.
That was so underwhelming. I was expecting way more.
Yeah, you expect the whole army to pop out, and there's just nope, 2 Immortals. So they're gonna have to slowly walk their way back down. If I think they might be playing defense now, and so that was great from GunGFu. I think that was a really good read of the situation. Say, hey, I've got to lay on some counter aggression. I've got to shut down the economy of ArT, who is also on one base. Otherwise, this is gonna snowball, and I'm gonna get locked out here. I mean, what else can he do? GunGFu going for this pick on the Robo as well. Gets the pylon, so at least that stops the Immortals for now. Though of course, ArT can just rebuild a probe, or rebuild a pylon with a probe if he feels the need.
Yeah, the intrusion of Stalkers across the map here, looking pretty scary. Well, that Nexus is a no-go. If he wants to go for it, actually, he's trying to get on top of those Immortals.
Do you think that's the right call? I mean, I feel like shutting down that Nexus before it can get ahead is.
I know he could get it after.
He does turn around, yeah. I guess if you can have both, then why not?
It's so awkward for GunGFu because he has no robo, so there's these observers just spotting his entire main base. It's right there, he can see it, he can see the blur, he's like, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, so he's just getting scouted completely. Now he does have the robo coming in, and on the side of GunGFu, he's got Blink on its way, though it's quite a ways out. So once that Blink does finish, I feel like that's gonna really allow ArT to apply that kind of killing blow if he feels confident.
He's actually going for it in the main base here with that many Stalkers. GunGFuBanDa is going to force the entire army back. Yeah, there's no recall available. It's still way off cooldown. And ArT is in a world of trouble. He has to pull probes off the line. He was already behind in workers. This army, it feels like it's taking forever to get back as well.
Got a few Stalkers that are going to be cut out there, or caught out there on the trying to kind of reinforce this aggression from GunGFu in the main. He is going to kill 9 probes, 10 probes so far, but now he's kind of stuck. He's got to work his way around. If he can cancel that Blink, and he doesn't need to, he gets the recall there.
That one lone Stalker didn't make the cut, able to get out thanks to Blink. And GunGFu now has a very scary force, 21 Stalkers to 12. Of course, there's 2 Immortals to go with those 12 Stalkers, but yeah, 21 Stalkers, that is quite a bit here to have with Blink. But ArT will get his own Blink, and now the question, I think he might have to all in here with losing this many probes. I don't even think he can expand.
Yeah, it's I mean, he's now we've got GunGFu who can start his Immortal production. He can now start on his Robo Bay. He is going to be expanding as well. He's already got probes able to saturate that as well. Should he when it's kind of the Nexus is complete. But ArT now, this has completely been turned up, and I think that was a perfect play from GunGFu, just being able to apply some counter-aggression there that ultimately has kept him in this game.
I love the false Stalker run by across the map. They kill probes so quickly. And GunGFu, all he has to do is get ready on his side of the map. There's still a Prism, which always gives some extra potential for Micro. Ooh,
Great force fields.
Where's the Guardian Shield? You need to see that Guardian Shield.
And more probes going down in the main as well. Look, I mean, they're just... I think this might be a GG at this point. I think it has to be.
Oh, he's doing an elevator in the main. Guardian Shield! Oh, he keeps forgetting it. He had the energy for it for sure here. GunGFu does not forget it, and he's gonna get the cleanup and the equalizer here in that game number 2.
There we go. That was everything it needed to be from GunGFu. Like we said, or like I was kind of saying as well when you asked me at the beginning of the game, what am I expecting? I was expecting some additional aggression from ArT. That's exactly what we had with that proxy robo. But GunGFu had a plan of his own, had that probe outside of his base, which was luckily able to make a few forward gateways and allow him to kind of turn on that aggression on ArT and put him on the back foot. So really nicely done there from GunGFu. Did not crumble to the pressure.
It seems like ArT is just going to be the overall more aggressive player across all the games so far. I expect that trend to continue. Unfortunately for him, he was scouted, his proxy. He was probably hoping, you know, that hallucinated Phoenix is just going to fly right across the map, completely miss that, in which case he would have been... GunGFuBanDa would have been a lot less ready for the defense than he was now. And once you get the initial defense, and like you just don't take much damage, like yes, he lost 2 gates, but I mean, what is, you know, 300 minerals at this point, not so much. GunGFu was in a great spot to just kind of make his own decision. Having that one probe on the map, though, that was really key because it allowed him to get a pylon, a gateway, so then he's fast swapping, and those 4 Stalkers just wrecked the economy of ArT completely. I was a bit surprised, actually, that he didn't even have a shield battery. Not that he would have helped that much, but I think he would have helped a bit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, ArT there went with the Robo Bay, the proxy, which allowed him to have the greater immortal count. But then he was behind on the blink. I think if he had blink there, do you think he could have? That would have like turned the tide there because he could have blinked up into the main, taken out the battery if he needs to, kind of eliminate those stalkers one by one. Because he did at one point have the greater kind of force.
Yeah, I don't think he could go up the ramp. It was just like too well defended.
Yeah.
All right, let's go right into our next game. Yeah, between those two players. We're going to be playing on Glittering Ashes here for third map decider. Starting in the top right hand side in the blue from Germany. GunGFuBanDa.
And in the bottom left, the also Protoss player in this mirror match, in the red, it is ArT.
Do we see more early game aggression? Do we see any proxy, or does ArT finally slow things down and maybe just take his own expo, you know, chill a little bit, take it easy?
Yeah, just slow it down, you know? What's wrong with just expanding, huh? We'll have to see. I mean, do you have any predictions on this one? Are you expecting ArT to kind of slow this down a little bit?
Usually, honestly, like, for me, there's really like certain types of players. Some player loves to sit back and just chill and macro, you know, that's me. And I was never much for like the cheeses, the proxy, and the all-out aggression. And some players just love to get in your face and to just attack and make the game as uncomfortable as possible for you. I kind of feel like ArT's like that in Mirror so far from what we've seen today. Of course, it's only like 2 maps of the thousands that he plays yearly, probably. But I see him continuing to do the aggression, but perhaps a bit more calculated. So that was all-out proxy, like near your opponent's space, like right next to it last game. It was very, very in his face.
Yeah, I know Protoss aren't known for their heavy micro, as a lot of people seem to get angry about in chat from time to time, and they can just 1A, but when you're in a mirror match, I mean, do you kind of take it, if you're ArT now, do you kind of take it to the micro? Do you maybe play more of like a macro game and allow maybe some disruptor shots to be the decider of this one? Like you say, play it slow and steady to begin with.
Listen, if you can't press F2 and then attack move and then just win, I don't want to play video games anymore, right? Like this is the quintessential part of enjoying an RTS, isn't it?
Yeah, at this point, they may as well include probes in the F2, you know? Like, let's just get it all. And we got the Stargate going out down from the side of, I believe, ArT here. So we are going to be seeing some maybe some more oracles, but yet to expand. And we do see that GunGfu is actually opting for that expand. So he's got to make sure he has a defense at home as well, and he's got some stalkers out, he's got sentries, so he should be able to scout this as well if he gets the hallucinated Phoenix on the Stargate, so he should be able to see any aggression far off.
There it is.
We got these 2 stalkers working around the map.
Flying across the map. Wants to see everything. Once you see a Stargate here, if you're GunGFuBanDa, you just kind of want to sit around your bases or your middle lines with enough stalkers that if an oracle flies in, you can get rid of it very, very easily. Maybe get some shield batteries for when you're eventually going to want to move out. The thing is, shield battery defends very easily against 1 oracle. But against 2, it's still quite a struggle. You're going to lose quite a few probes. So since the meta is to go into blink, he's just going to do that anyway. Shortly after expanding, I'm sure. And then the question is for ArT, like, where does he go from there? He's adding a Twilight, so there's not going to be any sort of like Void Ray production behind this where he attacks with gateway units.
Yeah, I believe it's just gonna be the 1 oracle that he's looking to get right now, for now. And like you say, yeah, potentially not going into those void rays. So it might just be the one harassing oracle, and then going into that blink stalker. Pretty standard stuff, I would say, really. Nothing too crazy at this point.
One oracle probing forward, sees all the stalkers. That's something that when I played, when I played professionally this game, I was really bad at was defending against an oracle here, because I would always like chase it on one side, and he would go to the other side and like wreck my other middle line. And I remember there were some players that were so insanely like Neeb. Like his Stalkers had like aimbot or something. It was so insane. You would try to harass him with an Oracle and he would just be moving perfectly, moving shot, moving shot, moving shot, and he would just get rid of your Oracle like beautifully.
Yeah. I know the only kind of competitive play, and actually I'll hold that thought because we've got these 2 Oracles going into the main on the side of ArT. They do get 1 probe, I think that was for free. They might be able to get a second, but these Stalkers are just going to be pushing them off before any true aggression can occur. And like you said, even with that shield battery on the mineral line, against 2 Oracles, it doesn't really do much.
It looks like ArT's going to do a follow-up with a lot of gateways, 3 gateways. He's spamming Stalkers. He's kind of cutting pro production a little bit. And he has a pylon on the right-hand side. I'm a bit surprised that he didn't add a gateway. But I guess he's not even that close, to be honest. But yeah, he's keeping Robo entirely for now. And he kind of feels like he might want to attack with a lot of Stalkers. And usually, you'd want to add 1 sentry. No, actually, no. He's taking a 3rd base. Okay, so he's just kind of spamming Stalkers now. You have the more mobile army. And they're expanding at the same time here with the extra base.
Yeah, it looks like GunGFu's kind of teching up here, going for the Robo Bay, getting the Immortals, getting the +1 attack, but doesn't have Blink. So ArT here with the Blink is going to, I mean, the Observer spots it, can see this moving out here, but with the Blink can potentially cause some havoc here with the slower army of GunGFu, not able to kind of counter that. A couple of hallucinated Stalkers as well. Aggression. Sorry, I missed those adepts in the. I missed those adepts in the main. I was looking at my own screen there for a second.
Yeah, GunGFuBanDa actually, it's crazy to think that it's against Blink. This is the type of harass that will get like super hard shut down. But now he found the one timing where ArT had moved out with everything and had nothing at home. So he found quite a few probe kills, but he's also losing a lot of his own here from these Oracles up there. I'm actually having a hard time following everything, Cyber.
Yeah, we're trading blow for blow on probes here. 7 go down for GunGFu, 9 for ArT. So they're kind of evening up there at least. They're holding hands on that one with the probe kills.
Prison flies back in. Oh, what are you doing? Stalkers were there. Needs to keep that alive. And there's always the threat. GunGFu with pretty good defense so far. Like, he lost some probes, but they're about even on workers. He's going to be able to start saturating that 3rd base of his. And he already has +1. That's the thing. He doesn't have Blink. His opponent does, but he already has +1. So he can kind of catch up on the Blink, whereas catching up on the upgrades will be hard, especially if +2 gets started very soon here.
Absolutely. And ArT even grabbing up that charge as well, which will finish eventually. Going to allow just a little bit of frontline protection. Maybe get hands on onto those Immortals so that the Blink Stalkers are a little bit safer to... keep that army healthy.
Ooh, Immortal with the warning shots. Get out of there. Yeah, ArT.
Yeah, I did. Oh, go ahead.
Like the fact that he's doing this well in the macro game makes me wonder why he was playing so aggressive in the first 2 games. But to be honest, he did win one of them. Like, it's easy to look at the second one where he got shut down. Like, the first one was very successful. It was a quick win for him.
Yeah, and the second game was like very close. It could have easily gone ArT's way. I just feel like GunGFu just defended it very well and stayed calm under that aggression and that pressure. And that it easily could have gone ArT's way. Now these Oracles are back. Gonna get a couple probes. But one does go down from those Stalkers, so not really respecting the Stalkers here on the side of GunGFu.
You'd want to keep that alive here, ideally. That was a bit unfortunate for him, because he wants to be able to keep on tagging his opponent's army, seeing all the movement and everything, and then in super late game, if we even make it there, a very important unit to have here, an Oracle, so it's gonna maybe fly out of there and kind of give up trying to deal any economic damage in the main base. And yeah, the 4th base is way earlier. It's more than halfway through done already for ArT here.
Yeah, we're gonna see this kind of midfield little brawl here, a little skirmish. But both are going to back away and say, no, you know what? I want to macro up a little bit more. We're not going to take that. And we actually had ArT allow a couple of adepts to get into his base from GunGFu and kill a couple probes there as well. So, you know, it's cute. Cute little move there from GunGFu just to keep ArT back at his base. Just keep him on his toes.
This blink is so delayed for GunGFu. I wonder, like, what's happened here? I guess he was prioritizing Immortals massively, but it just feels like it's so damn late. Like, you might almost like not want to get it and get something else entirely, but I guess you do need to get Stalkers. He's adding so many gates. He just added 3 at the 3rd base, and he's adding 3 more in the main. It kind of feels like he might want to be the one to perhaps attack, or unless he feels like he needs all this production now. But ArT's starting to take a supply lead.
Yeah, I mean, GunGFu here, he's not got Blink yet, but he's got +2 attack, which is quite, you know, quite handy, because I believe ArT doesn't have... oh, no, he has +1 at this point. Okay. So, I mean, he is going to have the attack advantage there with the upgrades, but adding on a couple disruptors here on the side of ArT. As GunGFu, do you make it hit here? Do you push out before ArT can kind of barricade his army and make it stronger?
Well, like, I think when you want to attack here is really when you see that you have more units, or you can think you can set up like a really good concave. So he panicked and recalled the disruptor. Actually, I thought he was gonna go for the one shots. He was like, nah, I don't know if he has blink yet. And actually, there was no blink, so maybe he could have gone for it, like landed a big shot and then tried to get out, but kind of chickened out last second.
I didn't actually see the recall. I just saw a blue disruptor, and I was like, is that a hallucinated disruptor for a second? I was like, oh no, okay, yeah, it is the recall.
It would be a grave mistake if you're playing against it to think it's a, a real one. Okay, Zealot's actually chasing these stalkers. ArT is in trouble. He might have to recall here. Where does he even go?
Full surround there.
Oh, he already recalled the disruptor, so he can't.
Yeah, he just recalled that one lone disruptor, and here the Zealots are going to charge in from the top and just completely dispatching all those stalkers. How many was that just went down? That was at least a good dozen or so.
He's lost 18 so far this game. That's quite a bit.
So now as GunGFu, I mean, you've just taken out a lot of the army there, but still not quite confident yet to go in and brace for that attack.
I like that GunGFu is going to be adding Gravitic Drive. He's getting a Dark Shrine, so DT drop. Now that's my jam. My man. Get in there. Snipe some cannons, and then it's going to be a probe fest.
So but the War Prism got taken down as well, just then from a Phoenix, I believe that was, from ArT. So GunGFu not going to have that Prism available. He's going to have to remake that if he wants to be doing some drops.
Disruptor count is 7-1 though in ArT's favor. I wonder how good he is with them. Disruptors is really something else. Like, it's an entirely different micro than every other unit in the game. Personally, I find it so difficult. Some players are just insanely good at it. But yeah, here when you have this many, all you have to do is get up close, land some good Novas, and you're going to be cleaning up real fast. We see +2 and +3 finishing at the same time, so GunGFuBanDa is still maintaining the extra attack upgrade that he's had pretty much the entire game. And ArT drops a Dark Shrine, a Fleet Beacon, and one more Stargate. We might head into the very late game here.
Yeah, this could be a long one, which is quite peculiar considering how fast the first two games we had were. Nice to see that we are actually going to get a little bit more of a macro game between these two Protoss players. We say a lot of disruptors on the map for the side of ArT, so gotta be careful with those Stalkers blink away just in the nick of time. But now GunGFu with the reaction disruptor does connect with a couple Stalkers there, so I mean, better Novas win, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting how they're both getting Shadow Stride, and who's going to be the first one to really strike with DTs. Some Zealots actually on the left-hand side of GunGFu got caught in a trap. ArT was anticipating all along that they were going to be headed there, so they're able to get rid of them very cost-effectively. Carriers in production for ArT. Yes. Oh my god, the disruptors in the main of GunGFu are stuck.
Massive disruptor shot just then from GunGFu, just eliminated, like, I didn't even see exactly what it was. A few disruptors, a few stalkers, just annihilated ArT's army there.
Oh no. Kill a gateway.
This could be some trouble here for ArT.
He's killing the pylon. Set them free! No, he stopped!
He stopped, yeah, he stopped us.
Oh god.
Look, listen, if anybody gets close to those three disruptors, I tell you what, they're gonna be in trouble. There we go.
Freedom!
That's why GunGFu had the lower disruptor count for so long. It's not that he wasn't producing them, it's that they were stuck up in the main.
Actually, he caught up really well, right? Because I think he was 7-1 at some point. Now he's on 8 against 6. And Mothership on the way.
As you said, from ArT, yeah, got the Mothership coming as well. +1 air attacks as well. So yeah, as you say, transitioning into that late game army. We are going to be seeing those carriers, probably adding on some Archons.
I have yet to see a mothership that doesn't die. That lasts like an entire game.
That's all I see from them, actually, is they come... I remember, like, back... I swear back in, like, Wings of Liberty, they were, like... Or, like, Heart Swarm, wherever it was. They were, like, super strong, always used to get used. But now, every time I watch them, in the modern game, yeah, they just immediately die.
Well, they used to have Vortex. That made it kind of hard to fight against them. Because they would Vortex everything.
Oh, man, the OG days.
They'll run by on the right side, not able to do much so far. I love how GunGfu is attacking in many places, by the way. He went in the top left with a huge force, brought the entire army of ArT there, and now he's attacking into the Expo, but everything gets... Oh my god!
Stasis ward there.
What the... How was that even there? ArT is setting up traps everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't see it get put down. A couple disruptor shots go out, but those are oftentimes ineffective against flying units. So the carriers, under the guise of the mothership... Oh, these Stalkers, unless you can get a recall, which I don't know if he has available, these Stalkers are just going to get obliterated. Maybe take care of the Dark Shrine here, maybe?
Oh, they're kind of meant to be sacrificed, to be honest, but yeah, you would like to be able to deal some damage before they go down. The 5th base was kind of getting bridged. Oh, Disruptors on their own. Can he land some Novas? This one, Archon, is just dancing like crazy here. And ArT will be able to clean up. That was... a lot of losses here for GunGfu, actually. But he did deal some damage.
Skirmish is happening all over the map.
He's going Tempest, actually, himself, to try and deal with the carriers of his opponents. ArT having killed this much, you always have to question, like, should I be attacking now? Because I killed a ton of units. It's going to be hard for the opponent to replenish properly. So he moves across the map. Sees that there is no 6th base at 12 o'clock just yet. Oh my god, the DT's at the bottom! This one, Zealots! He's leading them away!
Run! Run!
I got you guys! I'll buy as much time as I can!
Oh, great disruptor shots, not quite connecting. That looks like that was gonna... They looked like they were gonna land comfortably. But these Tempests gonna be able to deal with these carriers comfortably, but there's just no ground army on the side of GunGfu to really get underneath. There's just a couple Tempests versus these carriers.
DT's on the other side. Dark Templar on Dark Templar violence. But no detection here for ArT to defend properly against this.
And ArT is just absolutely stripping through this 3rd base of GunGfu. Moving now up into the main. These Tempests desperately trying to run away. It's kind of like a Zealot DT situation going on. The mothership's still standing, Todd.
He needs to take that out. Stalkers were warped in to reinforce. They got pretty good upgrades, so that's going to be nice. For GunGFuBanDa, whose supply plummeted. That base got completely overrun, and ArT has so much more army outside of this.
Yeah, he does lose all the carriers, but I don't think it matters when he's managed to depower some GunGFu's gateways and just has way more army value here.
This looks like it might be it. Huge supply difference. 94 army to 50 in ArT's favor now. Tons of Stalkers. And thanks to his 10 worker count leads, this has the better economy.
Yeah, and I think this is the final stage of this one. This Tempest desperately trying to get something done here. But ArT just has so many Stalkers. Still got the Disruptors. GunGfu's not going to be able to replenish with anything high tech. It's going to be Stalkers, it's going to be Zealots.
GunGfu has only one observer and it's in the middle of the map, so it's not even here to help out against the DTs if they were to go into like one of the probe lines. ArT gets on top of the Tempest, gets rid of them all. Zealots come in from GunGfu, try and get rid of the Stalkers. Dark Templars overrunning the place, and ArT